The same cannot be said for everyone. Visitors here at this growing memorial tell me they feel previous comments made by the president about immigration. I want to show you what it looked like then. You could see it was clogged with bicycles, boxes, other personal possessions, but today it's completely cleaned out. A couple protesters did light a flag on fire. Shortly after that, however, that's when protesters crossed the I-35 service road. They marched up this ramp to get onto I-35. A lot of heavy wind and rain at the very least. Take a look at all of this carpet. Many homes look just like this. The FBI released a statement earlier expressing concern over the possibility of copycats in the wake of this shooting, as well as the one up in Dayton, Ohio. They're really urging everyone at home, if you see anything suspicious, to go ahead and report that. Meanwhile, back here on scene, this memorial in front of the entrance of the Walmart parking lot has grown significantly overnight. Mourners have been trickling in and out of this scene all night long and into the morning, just emotional. If you're suspicious of a profile on a dating app, take a screenshot of that profile, then reverse image search. Or simply choosing not to be outside. Instead, they're staying indoors. After feeding hundreds of people at their annual Thanksgiving giveaway day, the Kingsland Sharing the Harvest food pantry is almost out of food. Use mosquito dunks like this, just throw them into the water. These hand washing stations are both ready for use. Gas is trapped in the soil. Alarm will sound off if a temperature tops 99. She was running here on this roadway where there are many homes. She just disappeared, leaving behind so many questions. House Bill 63 just passed about a half hour ago after some passionate back and forth. Send it back to that mass cam shot so you can see that divot where that explosion happened.
The fight between Wimberley ISD and parents continues tonight after the ACLU files a grievance against the school district. At issue is an altered Wimberley High School logo used during an LGBTQ pride parade.
CBS Austin's Christian Flores exclusively obtained that grievance letter. He joins us live tonight. Christian, this is really reaching a tipping point for parents.
The reason for this grievance is because Wimberley ISD has not yet retracted the letter sent home to all parents back in December, warning them to take down images of the altered logo or else face legal consequences, even though the district has allowed certain local businesses in this city to use the high school logo for commercial purposes. Lawyers with the ACLU say this is an intimidation tactic and a violation of the First Amendment.
Why do you persist so hard with the rainbow colors?
Brian Burke is not sure why Wimberley ISD has not backed out of a dispute over this altered Wimberley High School logo designed for the city's first ever LGBTQ pride parade in September. The ACLU filed a grievance against the school district on behalf of Burke, whose daughter is a student at Wimberley High School and a member of the LGBTQ community.
And the reason why this group of parents created the logo in the first place was to support LGBTQ kids in the school district. And that's it. There was no profit being made from it.
This grievance is in response to a letter Wimberley ISD sent to all parents in December, informing them they have trademarked the logo and will send out cease and desist letters to anyone who does not take down images of the altered logo on social media or elsewhere. Earlier this month, we first told you about the letter the ACLU sent to the district, asking them to retract this letter. They still have not.
The district has already chilled people's First Amendment rights. People who have put up this logo to express support for LGBT students a lot of them have already taken it down for fear of legal retaliation and lawsuits being filed against them.
That has an oppressive effect on those who are exercising their free speech.
Through a public records request, we learned Wimberley ISD spent more than $16,000 between the trademark and lawyers' fees on all matters regarding the logo since September. We have repeatedly asked for an interview with Superintendent Dwayne York, but in each update to this story, he said he was not available. I even emailed him questions more than a week ago, but have not received answers to those questions, with York's lawyers worried about violating the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. We spoke with York briefly over the phone today. He says he cannot comment on the grievance. Now, York has 10 business days to set a hearing date with Burke and the ACLU.
They didn't go for a trademark and copyright and make all these efforts to shore up this logo before.
If this still is not resolved after a hearing with the superintendent, the ACLU plans to file an appeal to get a hearing with the school board. They may or may not take action on this. Reporting live in Wimberley, Christian Flores, CBS Austin News. We're about an hour south of Little Rock, where you can see just how much damage these floods have caused. Pretty much every home in this community looks just like this. The water is approaching the rooftop. The last thing neighbors say they need now is for the water to rise even more.
Most people have lived down here for years and never expected anything like this.
Here in Wright, boat rides replace driving.
It's just an old road. So.
To get around the neighborhood. With the Arkansas River 8 feet above flood stage here, water's up to the rooftops of homes.
This is mine here.
Don Ollinger lives here. Before today, water had not gotten into his home, but now he's worried.
It was not getting in the front door yesterday, and if it got in the back door, there was probably a few inches. So we're just going to see today.
Ollinger says the water rose quickly.
And it went pop in about 3 days.
And in that time,
it is sad.
Neighbors had to be rescued from their homes.
Danny was on the boat every day. He helped the last day when it came up over the street right there. He worked all day long, all night long. People waited too long, so he had to go all the way down the river toward the dam and save a lot of people.
Now, all eyes are on the weather. With nowhere else for the water to go, rain could cause flooding for elevated homes not yet affected. And for those already displaced, they may not be able to return.
Some of them are going to be displaced forever. But see, you got a lot of people that don't have a lot of money down here. They're just getting through the times like everybody else. And so, yeah, they're totally wasted.
Now, there are very few homes where water has not yet gotten inside, but with more rain expected, that could very well change over the next few days. In Wright, Arkansas, Christian Flores, CBS Austin News.
They're going to start pushing back and getting closer to the vineyard.
Kay Pence enjoys her quiet afternoons on her Fredericksburg ranch, tending to her horses and vineyard, but she knows soon this could change. Her property is one of many in the Hill Country where Kinder Morgan will put their Permian Highway pipeline through, and Pence says she and her neighbors aren't being fairly compensated.
We have landowners that their farms and ranches have been in their family for 150 years, and Kinder Morgan doesn't care.
Pence asked for Kinder Morgan to pay her $1.8 million. Kinder Morgan came back with two offers around $100,000 each before giving a final lower offer of $45,000. In October, they went into condemnation hearings where commissioners ruled Pence's land was worth $1.2 million.
When they come back with that lowball offer, a lot of landowners become intimidated and fearful that if they continue to fight, Kinder Morgan's just going to keep dropping that offer and dropping that offer. And so there were some that would go, well, okay, fine, I'll take this offer. It's a scare tactic.
More than 70% of affected Gillespie County landowners had condemnation hearings. Kinder Morgan has since appealed these rulings and haven't paid Pence yet. She expects the appeals process to take years, with Kinder Morgan allowed to put in the pipeline as soon as they put a deposit in Pence's account, which they can take money out of if the courts rule in their favor.
Our attorney has told us it will probably take 2 to 3 years before I actually ever see any of the money.
The pipeline is a 430-mile, 42-inch natural gas pipeline, and Pence says it will leave a 50-foot wide easement through a large chunk of her property when construction is completed.
To about here.
We reached out to Kinder Morgan to ask how they calculate their offers, but haven't heard back. In the meantime, Pence wants lawmakers to take action, since there were no eminent domain laws helping landowners this past legislative session.
No one worries about a for-profit, multi-billion-dollar company bullying landowners. We are supposed to sit here and allow them to bully us and take our land and say, that's fine, Kinder Morgan, pay us pennies on the dollar.
In Fredericksburg, Christian Flores, CBS Austin News.